Okay, I'm redoing this one because the last one went on too long. But what's your 5-year plan? Um, so currently I'm like like the right hand man to this like megalomaniacal like eco technocrat. But that's actually as cursed as it is, it's actually kind of exactly where I want to be. Um, I don't know. The intern over the summer compared us to Jesse Pinkman and Walter White. Because he's like this like 50-year-old nerd and I'm this like 24-year-old like alt guy from Seattle. um but yeah, we're basically just trying to funnel as much nepo baby money as we can into the Amazon rainforest to like bolster protections for it. I'm pretty on board with like most of the work that we're doing, but some of it kind of sketches me out a little, so I want to try to like um, kind of like change things to be better as much as I can. Um, I think I don't know, I'm like doing operations, kind of like jack of all trades type positions, so I just want to like maybe make it our board structure has like like people from the Amazon rainforest on it. I don't know, like make sure that the organizations that we're funding are doing legit work and it's not just like green capitalism like cursed type stuff. Um, but overall, it's a really cool organization. It's kind of having like this big like mass impact, which is really exciting. I don't know. I kind of wanted to like sell out a little bit after like at the end of college because I was just getting really like kind of like jaded um, with the like I don't know like I guess like belief systems that were predominant. But not like sell out in like a getting a ton of money way necessarily, but more just like go to a position where I could just have more of an impact in a kind of like if it's like even if it's a little like imperfect, just like actually do more things about like climate change and stuff, which I'm really concerned about, versus some like tiny like idealistic group that's like super ideologically pure, but is just like riddled with like infighting and never gonna get anything done. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of exactly where I want to be. Um, I just didn't like expect that it would happen this fast, I guess. Um, but yeah, and then like in terms of like my personal life, so I'm living with my parents right now, which is nice because I can just save up a lot of money. I plan to live with them for the next like maybe 3 or 4 years. My boss said that he's gonna probably move on to another project in like a year to 3 years. I think that's like a little bit like not realistic. I think it'll probably take like longer than that, but um, regardless, once he does, and I'm not like right now, kind of like my like leverage point, I guess, or like my like um the good and bad thing about me and the organization compared to like everybody else who's like Brazilian and like in Brazil is that I'm like the in-person guy. So I would want to stay here and not be working remote and like giving that up. But once he moves on, I expect that I'll probably stay but be remote, and then I can kind of live wherever I want. And by that point, I'll probably have saved up a lot of money from just not having it. I also don't really have grocery bills because I've just been like volunteering at this like mutual aid organization. So they also like they give you all your um, groceries for you can basically get like a week's worth of groceries for free from doing it. So I kind of have like no expenses right now, which is super tight. So yeah, I'm just gonna save up a lot and then move somewhere sunny where it's like not depressing. I kind of like Seattle, but it gets kind of horrible in like the winter. It like the sunsets around like like 4 right now, and it's like I get like kind of like seasonal depression. So I want to go somewhere sunny and fun. um, I was thinking like I've wanted to go to New Orleans for a while, but I might also go to like Miami or somewhere in SoCal. Um, so I don't know. That's kind of like that's my plan. I want to get like a condo so that I don't have to like continuously pay rent. I can just like kind of get something a little bit more like permanent, I guess, or at the very least something that I could like sell later. But like, um, it would be nice to, yeah, not just have to like continuously pay rent, but also be in like a apartment size living area. What are your thoughts on language? Do you notice the Oh yeah, sorry, there's more. I'm writing a book right now. I'm like kind of like 70% of the way done, maybe, I don't know. It's like a cyberpunk novel. It's I've been slowing down just because I'm like working so much right now, but I do want to finish it, and then I don't think I'm gonna like continue writing. I think like people have said to me that like I have a book in me. I don't know if I have two books in me, at least. Definitely not around this point. Like I'm already pretty burned out with this one book, so I think I'll probably just kind of like move on to whatever my like next like hyperfixation is. So I don't really know what that is, but I'll probably like have some sort of like creative project that I'll get into after this ends. What are your thoughts on language? Do you notice the intricacy in grammar? Does dissecting communication fascinate you? Um, yeah, I mean, like I do a lot of editing work, which is a little bit cursed because my mom is an editor, so I'm like kind of like following in her footsteps, um, which like she'll like roast me on, and I've kind of mixed feelings on. But I am like, yeah, I'm a good editor, I'm a good writer, good at communicating. Um, does dissecting the intricacies of communication fascinate you? If it's something like like I like to dissect song lyrics and like figure out the meaning from them. I like to write song lyrics. Um, so in that case, yes, I wouldn't say I have like a passion for editing or anything, although I am good at it. Um, and yeah, I guess I'm good at writing in general, though with my book, it's a little bit more about like the end. It's not about the journey. It's not the climb. It is about how fast I get there. It's it's the destination. So it's like I get feelings of satisfaction from completing it, but not from really the process itself, I guess. Um, how do you find physical comfort? Are you good at finding? Would you take advice from others on the subject? I like I don't know, like maybe not. Like I feel like I don't really I'm not super physical comfort oriented, although I definitely am comfort oriented, I would say. Like, but a lot of that for me is just like you know, playing a video game for a couple hours. This is why like part of me thinks I could be like I still am like shit am I like SPSO or am I like a 9 core or something because I feel like I need to play video games for like 3 hours a day to feel grounded. So like this is also like I feel like it's probably some like SY shit and like yeah I don't know. But yeah I would say like I'm good at finding comfort that way. It's not necessarily, I don't think it's like a physical body thing. It's more about like mental stimulation, like comfort through mental stimulation. Um, are your feelings obvious to you? Do you feel that you properly handle your emotions? Why or why not? I think like I can identify my emotions, but it's not that I don't know what I'm feeling. Ultimately, it's more like I have like delayed emotional reactions to a lot of things. So like feel things backwards. I have a pretty strong sense of nostalgia, but that can also be like really delusional. Um, kind of like an inferior SI thing, like MBTI. But yeah, it's a little bit like I don't know, like the kind of like Will Smith at the Oscars, watching his wife get slapped and then realizing like a minute later that he should feel mad about it. Like I don't know, I feel like I have like annoyingly delayed reactions to my emotions, and that means that often like I won't say what needs to be said in the moment, and then it'll just sort of confuse the shit out of people later. And it's like I'm not like intentionally hiding anything. Sometimes it just like have like a lower emotional processing speed, and it's like really frustrating for me. It's frustrating for other people, I'm sure. Um, so I don't know. I mean, do I feel like I properly handle my emotions? Um, Probably not in a lot of circumstances. Um, but I can also use my emotions as like fuel for like I don't know, like yeah, just like as like a sort of like inner fire burning or something like so sometimes like that like being able to like sustain that like passion can really come in handy. How do you feel about authority? Should you listen to it? Should others? Um, I mean, I am. a six. So I don't know what you want me to say. Like, no, obviously, I don't think people should like blindly follow authority because it's authority. I think it should be questioned and stuff. I mean, but like, I don't know, in a lot of circumstances with like teachers and bosses and professors, like whatever, it's like I say I have like a pretty good idea of like what they expect of me, and I'll just follow the rules because it's like advantageous to do so. I don't want to get like punished or anything. Um, but yeah, I mean, like in terms of like listening to authority, like I don't think that like somebody being an authority automatically means that they're like they like know what they're talking about more than anybody else or anything. Like I think you should be like a free thinker. Um, do you believe you have strong reasoning skills? How about others? Are you willing to argue about facts and data? Why or why not? Um, yeah, I think I have pretty um, strong reasoning skills. Um, sorry, I'm thinking. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm like a pretty logical person. Like, um, I can, um, I tend to be good at like puzzles or puzzle games and stuff. Um, just anything that like, I can be strategic too. I think I just generally like have pretty logical views on the world, but of course, like I'm gonna think that. Um, how about others? I mean, I think it really depends. Like my view, which is like obviously also somewhat informed by like typology and stuff, is that like there are a bunch of different kinds of intelligence. Um, so a lot of people are going to be really dumb in a lot of ways, but they're also generally going to be like good at like one thing or like a few things, like a few forms of thinking. So it's like I usually try to just kind of like meet people where they're at or like see like what they're really knowledgeable about and like kind of like pick their brains for that, I guess. Describe something you find aesthetically pleasing. What would make it more pleasing? How about less pleasing? Do you take your opinion seriously? Um, oh, so I was like really into like Warhammer for a while, and I was painting a ton of Warhammer models, um, and I just really like gravitated towards the aesthetic of this one like Chaos Legion, like because they had like because I really like anything like super industrial like machinery aesthetic or like some sort of like heavy like kind of like I don't know like killdozer type like aesthetics, if that makes sense. It's not like a real thing, but like I don't know, they had like these like this really sick like paint scheme with like hazard stripes over everything and just like clunky like heavy armor and like kind of like kind of like a gas mask like brutal aesthetic, like chain swords and shit. So I just like immediately knew that that was like um what I wanted to go with, and yeah, like I made some modifications to like the like original color scheme, like going into like the make it more pleasing thing, like they had like gold trim for their armor, and I thought the gold like was not like a great look with the like kind of like dark silver gray and the like black and yellow hazard stripes. So I made it like a sort of bronze color, and I made them look like dirtier and used like sort of like wash paint to like seep into like all the crevices to make it look like shadowed, but also like sort of like grimier, like oil slick, like more yeah, kind of like more industrial. So I made some like modifications to make it better. Um, how about less pleasing? Oh yeah, I mean the original video, like I also talked about, like I like realist architecture a lot, and there's like it can be done really well or it can be done horribly though is like the thing with realist architecture because it's like it gets a bad rep for being ugly, and I think that is to some extent deserved because a lot of these buildings just like look like absolute trash. So like one in my rejected version of this video, like what I was talking about was like there was like in the in the University of Washington in Seattle, they have this like giant monolithic like brutalist building, but it's like kind of like the most butt ugly thing you've ever seen because it just has like it has like the school colors, which I already like don't like, or like uh purple and gold, which of course is gonna inevitably be purple and yellow, which is like an even grosser color combination. Um, so they have this giant like purple and yellow like W on the top of this like huge brutalist building, and it just completely ruins like any of like the brutalist aesthetic that it would have. So yeah, like slapping a giant garish purple W on top of your building is like less pleasing. Do you take your opinions seriously? I mean, like I like to be a hater sometimes, but like no, I don't think like the world is gonna end because there's this ugly purple W on a building. Like I don't know. It's like it's not that high stakes. Do you trust your internal reactions towards people? Do you find yourself to be judgmental? Do you wish your way of being was different? I feel like this is like kind of a good question, if a bit leading, because like, yeah, like I relate to that whole process. Like, yes, I'll have like judgmental reactions towards people sometimes, and I'll be like, damn, like I wish I didn't like feel like have this reaction. Like, I don't want to be judgmental towards everyone. I kind of like to meet people where they're at. Um, but yeah, sometimes I do just like have like old judgments, and I don't know. Sometimes maybe they'll like leak out through like micro body language or something, which is something I've like heard from a couple of people, and I'm like, damn, like I kind of wish that wouldn't happen. Um, do you trust your internal reactions? I mean, I'll like sort of like open a like I'll like keep a file, I guess, but like not like immediately like no, I want to like wait till I like see like something like actually come up. I'm not just gonna like start intensely disliking someone for no reason generally, unless it's again like super low stakes. um um how does it feel to think of the future? Is there a purpose you're trying to align yourself with? I feel like I'm probably like most like myself when I'm thinking of the future, I guess. If I'm dwelling on the past, it's generally like a bad sign in general in terms of my like how my life is going. So yeah, it's like I feel like I can be kind of like vision oriented, and when I like have like a strong like vision like moving towards it, like it just like it's really like activating for me. Um, is there a purpose you're trying to align yourself with? Yeah, I mean like I'm really concerned about like climate change. So I'm trying to like kind of like do everything in my power to kind of like fight against that or whatever. Um, and then yeah, with like my art and my like my book right now, it's like I'm really just trying to like explore um, a lot of things. How do you organize information? How does it feel during the process? Is it enjoyable or not? I don't really find like the organization of information to be generally all that enjoyable. I feel like I'm more internally organized than externally. Like I like frameworks and system, like typology or something. But like even stuff like like getting into like political ideologies was like really interesting. But it's like scratching the exact same you know itch. Like part of my brain is like typology. So I love systematizing things and like getting into like understanding like systems and frameworks and picking them out. Um, but I don't like externally organizing information does like nothing for me. Do you have a daily routine? Is it ideal? Would you change it for others? Yeah, I mean, I have a daily routine. I think it's like I wouldn't say it's like ideal because ideal sort of implies that I'd be on some like CEO grind set where I'm like waking up at 5 and taking like cold showers and like working out every day. And it's like no, like obviously I'm not doing that. Um, would you change it for others? Yeah, generally. Sometimes if I like have to do something that I like really want to do or need to do, I'll just do it. And like, but generally, like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna prioritize like the emergent, like, I don't know, social needs with others over sticking to my routine 100%. Um, if you're one of the best moods you've ever been in, what made it the best? How about the worst mood? Is this exercise easy or difficult for you? Um, I'm trying to think. Try to like forget what I used in the last video. Hmm. Uh, I mean, worst. I feel like getting like dumped was like like a breakup. Like probably um one of the worst. Like moods to go through. One of the best moods. Oh, about a year ago, me and a friend were at Creme Fest, which is like this like electronic like techno kind of like there's this techno venue in Seattle called Creme that she introduced me to, and then she got this like Airbnb called Creme Rest, like solely for the fun. Um, but like it was super fun, and we both it was like kind of like the summer that like the whole Barbenheimer meme was like happening, and she was like dressed like really like like in this like pink like sort of like Barbie like outfit, and I was in this like crazy like warcore fit, which is like um it's like the cursed offshoot of like techwear, where it's like techwear's whole thing is that it's like trying to be like functional, but like workhorse is like what if it like wasn't functional and just like went harder into like the techwear aesthetics. So it's sort of like gloriously missing the point, but it's like it's got this really like sort of like cyberpunk like aesthetics. I had this this crazy like workhorse fit, and I had like my mohawk, and we were just dancing a lot. And then the whole like creme rest thing was hilarious because of course it's like we're it's sleeping right over this venue that has like loud techno music playing on three different stages until like 4 in the morning. So it's of course like the dumbest, most impractical shit ever, but it was just really funny and it was a good time. What is your greatest strength? How do you show this to others? Use examples if possible. I feel like my like humor and like my creativity are like really good strengths. I think I'm also just really I'm really like kind of like well-rounded and even keeled. Like I can be kind of a jack of all trades. I can be mentally nimble at times. I'm good at seeing like the big picture and like zooming out and just like tying a bunch of things together. So I think that like can be of a lot of utility to other people. Um, yeah, like how do I show it to others? I just like I mean I'm constantly just self-promoting like all my like creative projects. I'm like, look, I made this like meme or like funny joke. So I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of showing it off all the time. Um, in what ways are you resilient? In what ways are you an inspiration to others? So I mean, this is interesting. Like this, I think it kind of like um, came up a lot last year because like I don't know. I felt, and I mean, I still do to some extent. Like I was like weak in a lot of ways. And I mean, this isn't going to turn into some super positive or uplifting thing. It's still kind of me being a hater, but like um, when my band was falling apart, I was kind of like the guy like sticking with it and like holding down the fort and just like being able to like I don't know like go through a lot I guess and like be unfazed and be like still like powering forward I guess and like everybody else just like totally dropped the ball um like we were when we were recording our album like our drummer was like having a meltdown and like the bassist just like straight up left a day early because he was like oh I like don't want to like do this the whole time like it was just like I was like oh my god are you fucking kidding me and I was like sleeping on the floor so that the other people in the band could like sleep on the couch and like I don't know like it was just like kind of just like surrounded by all these like adult children and I was like, and then like when the band was falling apart, basically like everyone else was like flipping out at each other or like, um, just like I don't know, it just felt like they were all like emotionally fragile, I guess. And I felt like I was like, oh shit, like this is a situation where I'm like actually like stronger than than these people. Um, that was also I think that was also part of my like getting jaded with all the like artsy sad people in like college and stuff that was definitely a part of it because I just felt like people were holding me back in a lot of ways. Ways are you an inspiration to others? I don't know. I mean, I think just like yeah, again, kind of like my like creativity and humor can um just be like just draw people in, have them be interested, but also maybe that like can inspire people. Um, What's your biggest fear? How do you deal with this fear? My biggest fear is probably or definitely wasting my life, and I deal with it by I mean, just constantly feeling like there's like a gun at my head and I need to be like productive. Um, I don't know. Don't always succeed, obviously, but yeah, I just try to like do things that make me feel like I'm not wasting my life. Have some sort of like fuel inspo project vision thing that I'm working towards. I also, to be fair, like a lot of the time I deal with this fear by just like, escapism, like actually ironically wasting my life further. But sometimes like it can be overwhelming and I just need to like detach from reality for a bit. Um, what feels like a waste of time to engage in? How would you get through it? I feel like a lot of super like detail oriented stuff can feel like a waste of time to me. A lot of I don't know, um like body maintenance, that like working out, for instance. Like I was working out like 5 days a week, because I was kind of in that crazy like post breakup, like time to hit the gym, like like arc. But it wasn't. I was just plateauing and it wasn't getting anywhere. So now I've just been working out like 2 to 3 times a week, and I can still kind of maintain my like like ectomorph build. They basically look the exact same. It just doesn't matter. I mean, that's like it's frustrating because like with a lot of that stuff, it just feels like nothing I do matters, um, which makes me want to engage less. But I would say I get through it by like doing it to some extent, and then kind of being mentally somewhere else while I'm doing it. So it's like if I'm working out, I'm like listening to music or like listening to a podcast or something, and I'm like focusing on that. But it's like in the work, so I can just like completely ignore um the shit that just feels boring and like a waste of time. Like I don't care. Are you a leader? Explain what qualifies or disqualifies you as one. I've been in a bunch of leadership positions. I would say I definitely like can be a leader. I think sometimes it can be like uncomfortable speaking in front of large groups of people, but it's like something that I generally throughout my life just like powered through and done anyways. Um, yeah, I mean, I think what qualifies me as like a leader is that like I am kind of willing to like step up at times when other people aren't, and I can be kind of like a visionary leader. Like I'll have like a clear idea of a direction. Like when I founded like an improv club in college because I got excluded from college improv clubs and I was like really salty about it because they were like super like exclusive and elitist. So I like founded this club where like anybody could do improv that wanted to learn, and we got like a shit ton of people in because there were all these people that were like, oh, yeah, I want to like learn how to do improv, or you just do improv, but I get into the other one. So we just like created this like all inclusive environment where anybody could do it. But that was like. And like obviously I had a ton of support, but that was like my like brainchild, like my vision. So I think like people can kind of like rally to that sometimes. But yeah, I mean I think like what can sometimes disqualify me as one is that I'm not like wouldn't say I'm like a super like responsible person or anything. You have a lot of leader like these like CEO types who are like working like 60-hour weeks or whatever, and it's like that. It's like not really gonna be me. Um, so it's like it's kind of more of like a it's more of a thing where I can like step up situationally or have some sort of like vision and like create a thing. Um, when do you feel the most collaborative with others? Does this happen often? This is interesting. I feel like I mean, there's some people who are just easier to work with than others. For one, like I mean, like I'm a pretty adaptable person, so it's nice to be around people who are also pretty adaptable. Um, I think when people are like when I'm like in a space where like sorry, where like my like creativity is like valued and my perspectives are valued. It's nice to have people that can like kind of jump on board with that and like help me carry that out. I also think like I'm thinking like somewhat creatively or in terms of like creative stuff now, but like having the same taste as other people is like honestly huge. Um, because like that can be then we can just be of like a similar mind and just think the same things are cool. So yeah, it's like usually I'm gonna look for someone who like I align with like on taste. Um, also there's some people who are just like very like hardworking and driven and ambitious, and it's good to sort of like sometimes it can like be good to like sort of like ride off of their like energy wave, I guess, like being, trying to surround myself with people who are like high energy. Does this happen often? I guess, like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm constantly like, I mean, 'cause, like in a kind of like Bermuda way, like sort of like compromising or working with others. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of the time it can feel like it's not necessarily like we're thriving as like a team or like whatever, you know. Um, do you overcome doubt and hesitance? Like right now, I mean, right, so like right now, like creatively, like I'm just doing my own thing because I'm writing my book, so it's like I don't need to involve anybody for that, like, and that's good. Um, and then in work, it's like, yeah, I mean, like, there are people I work well with, but yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I'm just like either doing my own work, or it's like sometimes if we're sitting in a meeting, like I'm really junior, like I'm 24, like a lot of the other people on the team are like basically everybody, well, everybody else on the team is older than me, so I'm like my perspective is just not going to be as valued, which like I get why, but it's like it can be hard to like really like feel like I can be like fully like present as like someone working on the team. Do you ever come doubt and hesitance? Explain why or why not. I guess like I don't know. I feel like I have like a lot of doubt and hesitance. In a kind of sorry, I just closed out of the questions. Um, a kind of like classic like six way, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I overcome it because it's just like I just constantly have a ton of it, so I'm just constantly overcoming it because I'm constantly like um I just feel like I need to like push on ahead anyways, you know. I mean, it like mentally it can be hard to get over. Like I will like deal with the same themes or like repeating cycles of doubt. It's not like it's not, I don't think like I feel resolved on things easily. So in that sense, I guess I'm not overcoming it. But in terms of just like overcoming it as like it being like a barrier to action, I mean, I do feel like I'm just like constantly probably overcoming it. Um, do you yield to others? If so, in what situations do you do this? How do you feel about it? Yeah, I mean, I feel like I yield to others, I guess, like just that, like, I can be kind of like adaptable. Um, I would say I do it when it's beneficial, but of course, sometimes it can be a bit of a pushover, which is like frustrating to me. So yeah, I mean, how do I feel about it? I guess like frustrated or like, sometimes I have to like weigh whether or not it's worth it. But again, sometimes that'll like happen after the fact or like after it's too late, I guess. Um, what are you looking to get out of the typing process? Do you have any ideas for your type? Um, I I'm just curious, like honestly, like I want to be able to like as a blah blah blah, like in like text conversations. Like I don't know, I want to get like attention and like everyone speculating over what my type could be. Like really, I'm gonna be real. um, do you have any ideas for your type? I think I probably said this in the last video, but yeah, I think I'm a VLEF. Um, and then in terms of my EI type, I thought I was either SS, SY, CY, or SS, or S, sorry, SSY, SSCY, but then you came in and were like, dude, you're like totally like an unknown Dom. So now I kind of have no idea. I still like wonder about EX as like the um, sleeper option or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So we'll see. I guess I could be sensory last. I really like. I'd be kind of shocked if I was anything but VLEF, but I admittedly like don't understand like AP that well and like haven't delved that deep into it. So like who knows? Anyways, that's everything. Thanks. Bye.